Handmaid's Tale. Chapter 12, page 62, by Margaret Atwood. The bathroom is beside the bedroom. It's papered in small blue flowers, forget-me-nots, with curtains to match. There's a blue bath mat, a blue faux fur cover on the toilet seat. All this bathroom lacks from the time before is a doll whose skirt conceals the extra roll of toilet paper. Except that the mirror over the sink had been taken out and replaced by an oblong tin, and the door has no lock, and there are no razors, of course. There were incidents in the bathrooms at first. There were cuttings, drownings, before they got all the bugs ironed out. Cora sits on the chair outside in the hall to see that no one else goes in. In a bathroom, in a bathtub, you are vulnerable, said Aunt Lydia. She didn't say to what. The bath is a requirement, but it is also a luxury. Merely to lift off the heavy white wings of the veil, merely to feel my own hair again with my hands is a luxury. My hair is long now, untrimmed. Hair must be long but covered, Aunt Lydia said. St. Paul said it's either that or a close shave. She laughed. That held back the neighing of hers, as if she told a joke. Cora has run the bath. It steams like a bowl of soup. I take off the rest of the clothes, the overdress, the white shift and petticoat, the red stockings, and the loose cotton pantaloons. Pantyhose gives you crotch rot, Moira used to say. Aunt Lydia would never have used an expression like crotch rot. Unhygienic was hers. She wanted everything to be very hygienic. My nakedness is strange to me already. My body seems outdated. Did I really wear bathing suits at the beach? I did, without thought among men, without caring that my legs, my arms, my thighs, my back were on display, could be seen. Shameful, immodest. I avoid looking down at my body, not so much because it's shameful or immodest, but because I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at something that determines me so completely. I step into the water. I lie down. Let it hold me. The water is soft as hands. I close my eyes. She's there with me, suddenly. Without warning, it must be the smell of the soap. I put my face against the soft hair at the back of my neck and breathe her in. Baby powder, as a child's washed flesh and shampoo with an undertone. The faint scent of urine. This is the age she is when I am in the bath. She comes back to me at different ages. This is how I know she is not really a ghost. If she were a ghost, she would be the same age always. One day, when she was 11 months old, just before she began to walk, a woman stole her out of the supermarket cart. It was a Saturday, which was when Luke and I did the week's shopping, because both of us had jobs. She was sitting in the little baby seats they had then, in supermarket carts, with holes for the legs. She was happy enough, and I turned my back at the cat food section, I think it was. Luke was over at the side of the store, out of sight, at the meat counter. He liked to choose what kind of meat we were going to eat during the week. He said that men needed more meat than women did, and it wasn't a superstition, and that he wasn't being a jerk. Studies had been done. There are some differences, he said. He was fond of saying that, as if I were trying to prove that it weren't. But mostly he said that when my mother was there. He liked to tease her. I heard her start to cry. I turned around and she was disappearing down the aisle in the arms of a woman I had never seen before. I screamed and the woman was stopped. She must have been about 35. She was crying and saying that it was her baby. The Lord had given it to her. He had sent her a sign. I felt sorry for her. The store manager apologized, and they held her until the police came. She's just crazy, Luke said. I thought it was an isolated incident at the time. She fades. I can't keep her here with me. She's gone now. Maybe I do think of her as a ghost, the ghost of a dead girl, a little girl who died when she was 5. I remember the pictures of us I had once, me holding her, standard poses, mother and a baby, locked in a frame for safety. Behind my closed eyes, I can see myself as I am now, sitting beside on an open drawer, or a trunk in the cellar, where the baby clothes are folded away, a lock of hair, cut when she was 2, in an envelope, white blonde. It got darker later. I don't have those things anymore, the clothes and hair. I wonder what happened to all of our things. Looted, dumped out, carried away, confiscated. I've learned to do without a lot of things. If you have a lot of things, said Aunt Lydia, you get too attached to the material world and you forget about your spiritual values. You must cultivate poverty of spirit. Blessed are the meek. She didn't go on to say anything about inheriting the earth. I lie, lapped by the water, beside an open drawer that does not exist. I think about a girl who did not die when she was 5, who still does exist. I hope, though not for me, do I exist for her? Am I pictured somewhere in the dark back of her mind? They must have told her I was dead. That's what they would think of doing. They would say it would be easier for her to adjust. 8 she must be now. I filled the time I've lost. I know how much there's been. They were right. It's easier to think of her as dead. I don't have to hope then, or make a wasted effort. Why bash your head, said Aunt Lydia, against a wall? Sometimes she had a graphic way of putting things. I ain't got all day, said Cora's voice outside the door. It's true, she hasn't. She hasn't got all of anything. I must not deprive her of her time. I soaped myself, used the scrub brush and a piece of pumice for the sanding of dead skin. Such Puritan aids are supplied. I wish to be totally clean, germless, without bacteria, like the surface of the moon. I will not be able to wash myself this evening, not afterwards, not for a day. It interferes, they said, and why take chances? I cannot avoid seeing, now, the small tattoo on my ankle, 4 digits and an I, a passport in reverse. It's supposed to guarantee that I'll never be able to fade, finally, into another landscape. I am too important to scarce for that. I'm a national resource. I pull the plug, dry myself, put on my red terry cloth robe. I leave today's dress here, where Cora will pick it up and be washed. Back in the room, I dress again. The white headdress isn't necessary for the evening because I won't be going out. Everyone in this house knows what my face looks like. The red veil goes on, though, covering my damp hair, my head which had not been shaved. Where did I see that film about women kneeling in the town square, hands holding them, their hair falling in clumps? What had they done? It must have been a long time ago because I can't remember. Cora brings my supper covered on a tray. She knocks at the door before entering. I like her for that. It means that she thinks I have some of what we used to call privacy left. Thank you, I say, taking the tray from her, and she actually smiles at me, but turns away without answering. When we're alone together, she's shy of me. I put the tray on the small white painted table and draw over the chair up to it. I take the cover off the tray, the thigh of the chicken overcooked. It's better than bloody, which is the other way she does it. Rita has ways of making her resentments felt. A baked potato, green beans, salad, canned pears for dessert. It's good enough food, though bland. Healthy food. You have to get your vitamins and minerals, said Aunt Lydia coyly. You must be a worthy vessel. No coffee or tea, though no alcohol. Studies have been done. There's a paper napkin as in cafeterias. I think of others, those without, this heartland here. I'm leading a pampered life. May the Lord take us truly grateful, said Aunt Lydia. Or was it thankful? As I start to eat the food, I'm not hungry tonight. I feel sick to my stomach. There's no place to put the food, no potted plants, and I won't chance the toilet. I'm too nervous. That's what it is. Can I leave it on the plate and ask Cora to not report me? I chew and swallow, feeling the sweat come out in my stomach. The food balls itself together, a handful of damp cardboard, squeezed. Downstairs in the dining room there will be candles on the large mahogany table, a white cloth, silver flowers, wine glasses with wine in them. There will be a click of knives against china, a clink as she sets down her fork with barely audible sigh, leaving half the contents on her plate untouched. Possibly she will say that she has no appetite. Possibly she won't say anything. If she says something, does he comment? If she doesn't say anything, does he notice? I wonder how she manages to get herself noticed. I think it must be hard. There's a pat of butter on the side of the plate. I tear off a corner of the paper napkin, wrap the butter in it, take it to the cupboard and slip it into the toe of my right shoe from the extra pair as I have done it before. I crumple up the rest of the napkin. No one surely will bother to smooth it out to check if any is missing. I'll use the butter later tonight. It would not do this evening to smell of butter. I wait. I compose myself. Myself is a thing I must now compose as one composes a speech. What I must present is a made thing, not something born.